And welcome back to FPRK Radio Podcast, the podcast where we talk about all the things we're not supposed to talk about, all the things that tear us apart. Politics, religion, and Kanye West. That's right, this is Fuck Politics, Religion, and Kanye. I want to say it's like, I was going to say it's the most... the most flagrant podcast. We blowing smoke in my face off the top. The most flagrant podcast on the gram, on the nets, on the whatever it is.
In the motherfucking universe.
Today, I'm joined by a return guest. The last time we had you here, we had a panel. Which I actually really enjoyed. I want to bring back a panel again. I like having a panel. Cool. I like having a bunch of niggas. But today we've got you on your own, the Holy Kush.
Holy Kush. What's up? What's up, baby?
It's the Holy Kush. You can catch his single Melanin out right now.
Yes.
Available. Yeah, for sure. Directed by Asher Kai, who you'll recognize from the last podcast.
That's my bro.
Like I said, I'm diversifying this year. We're bringing on more musicians, more artists, photographers, directors, comics, whatever. If you think you got a good opinion, hit me up. I'm looking for a good white right now. That's what I'm looking to have on the show.
A token white?
Not a token white, because I like to talk to specific kinds of people. And like especially with white people. There's like a specific type of white person I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for a
little seasoned.
A little seasoned, right? Not like new woke. I don't want
Off-white.
I just don't want like got woke yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want no like overly woke trying to out woke. Like I don't.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And like I wouldn't even mind an outright like far right person. I wouldn't mind it. As long as they're willing to have the discussion, but like it's specific. But
I honestly think that dialogue is necessary, though. Because how can anything happen if the far left and the far right don't ever talk, ever come to the table? Like you guys have to sit down and talk. Right?
I think it's like the most necessary conversation.
You have to. That's
every time I talk to like some like hard Democrat. And they're like, how do you even talk to them? How can you even?
Right.
I was like, well, how do you plan on getting anywhere with them? If you can't have a conversation with them, then like, or I was talking to someone today, and then we was talking about like people who are just like, nah, there's nothing that can be done with them. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to deal with them. I'm not going to this. And I'm like, if you don't think there's anything that can be done with people, you might as well start the war now. If like you think everybody is just wrong off top, off nature, and they ain't going to get no better, then I don't see what the hope is.
I honestly believe that the far left and the far right are the exact same thing. Like, if you sit back and think about it, they're both fighting the exact same way for what they believe in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not even the majority of the people. It's like a small percentage of the people. It's like...
I mean, obviously, like, I've always said, they say it's the far right, the far left, and the far right, but really it's more like a circle. And like, so the far left is like down over here, and the far right's over here, and like the farther they get, they're like the closer they kind of get to one each other, right? And it becomes like a little blurred down there. You're just on the opposite of like extreme government, and like the far left and the far right are closer to each other than they are to those hardcore just vote and trust your government people.
Right.
We're all close to each other, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the skepticism of the government is on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So they just need to sit down and have a conversation. It's just like poor whites. And
No, you just stay on your mic.
It's like poor whites and poor blacks. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have the same issues, except one of us has a complex.
I mean, we both have a complex, but one's is more effective, or like, one's is the mental impact of the complexes is different. But we're so close to each other. And it's like literally like as soon as you see like poor whites argue with poor blacks about like white privilege or something, all the poor whites do is argue about how much they're like the poor blacks. They just start listening. I'm also broke. I also went through this. I also grew up without this. And it's like, so what are we fighting about?
So why are you on there? Why do you do
what
the things?
Why are you arguing over?
Right.
Yeah.
It's that complex that I am better than you because of I'm white.
I mean,
but it's I don't even fault them to a point, because it's like at the same time, you're supposed to. I'm one to like. You're supposed to feel like, you know what, my people is the best.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone does, right? Like that's what I deal with.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The problem is that it's the power that's behind it.
Right.
But those that don't have power behind it, like those poor whites that we're talking about, it's like they're more delusional than anything, because it's like, wait, we can sit down and have this conversation, but you still feel like you're better than me just because of your skin complexion. We're both in the welfare line. We're both getting unemployment checks. We're both.
And if we want to be straight up, you have
Our
more opportunities to not be here.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the confusion of that just appalls me in a sense, because I sit back and I've been through small towns in rural America, rural Pennsylvania, Minnesota, New Mexico, Arkansas. I've been through all through those weird little places.
Yeah.
And it's literally basically how I grew up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, except that you're white. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, like, get it together, because we're in shit together.
You know, it is the conditioning.
That's exactly what it is,
Right.
conditioning.
And like you said, you can't always fault someone for their conditioning. Until the point that they become aware of their conditioning, and then after that, I can begin to fault you.
Yes,
but like it's a lot to fight against. Like there's black people that I'm like fighting against their conditioning and being like, you got to get out of this mind state of what you can
Slave
and cannot
mentality.
do.
That's our conditioning.
Yeah. Slave mentality. Like there's so much. Like I be doing white shit, and you know what I mean. People call it white shit, right? You know, oh, you going hiking? What you going out in nature? You doing that white shit? Oh, what you doing? Yeah, like, and I'm like,
but
I'm like, this shit's dope. Like, and I'm like, listen, they told you it was white shit to keep you off the mountain.
Exactly.
Right? And like, we got to get around that. Like, it being like, oh, you're not supposed to do this. And I'm like, well, who told you you're not supposed to do this? And since when are we as people ones to be told what we is not supposed to do?
Especially when we're the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're the first one to hike. So it's like listening to classical music or listening to rock and roll music.
Yeah, we made rock and roll music.
It's like, how am I doing?
And that's another way to look. I tell you, in 30 years, 40 years, black people's gonna be making some other form of music, and rap music's gonna be like white music.
Yeah.
And they be like, what are you doing that TikTok music for, or some shit? And we gonna be on some other new type of music. Like I remember one day I was listening to NERD. And my uncle like had NERD playing in my driveway. It's back when like NERD had just come out, right? Like, and my uncle's like, boy, turn that white music off. What you listen to that white music for? I'm like, first of all, this Pharrell, he black. Two, it's rock and roll, like Chuck Berry, you know, Little Richard. Like we started this, and now it's like it's been taken away from us, and it's not our thing anymore. And then now, if we go back and listen to it, like, or even try to participate in it, you got other black people being like, "Why you doing that? Why you doing that white stuff? Like, why you?"
It's like when you're trying to enter those rooms, it's like you have the people that's not trying to let you in the room, and then you have the people that's outside of the room with you that get mad at you when
you try to go in the room. Yeah.
When it's your people that made the room in the first place.
You know what I mean?
Your people built the house.
Like, we just trying to take the room back. It's like, nah.
I'm just trying to visit what we did. Like,
I'm just trying to go wherever I want to go at any time without nobody telling me I can or cannot.
Right.
Especially my own.
Right.
But that's like our conditioning. Like it's real hard for me to and that's another way.
It's
like
both ways.
When people ask me like how, especially like the super hard Democrats, I'm like, how can you talk? How can you talk to a Republican? And I'm like, the same way that I let myself talk to you.
Right.
It's because I know you don't know better.
Right. And a lot of these people that say, how can you talk to these people? How can you associate yourself? Well, I'm pretty sure you work for somebody that is like that. I'm pretty sure
you
that
go home to a family member that's
somebody
like that.
Like that you accept. It's like, honestly, bro, we need to just, all these labels, all of these adjectives, all of these things that are created to put people in a bubble, is just so you can generalize a certain amount of people or people that think that one way.
Yeah.
Like, okay, group think in a different way. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, the alt-right. what?
Yeah.
The alt left, what? Like, you're trying to group people together to create. That's how you create war too.
And they do it immediately, and they don't look back
fast.
Like you see.
That's media.
And I have like this. I start defending people that I'm like, don't make me defend this person, but they'll like group somebody in a thing, and I'm like, nah. If you like. Because they'll do, say somebody don't want a vaccine or something, and now they're anti-vaxxer or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, if you listen to everything else that they saying this, they saying that, they might be basing on this, they might be basing, and they're like, nah, they're anti-vaxxer. And a person's literally being like, I got my flu vaccine, all my kids had the vaccines, I just don't know about this, or have concerns like they're anti-vaxxer. Put him in that box. He probably voted for Trump. He's this and that, and they dismissed him.
Right.
And like, we got to stop doing one thing. This week, right? So, and this is one that we all do. It bothers me personally because it's like in how we deal with the police, right? And I used to do a story like when I told of all the interactions I've had with the police, right? Yeah. And 3 of them, they go by real well, and then like the last 2, I get my ass beat, right? And
in real life,
wow. L.A. and Philly, back to back, like 2 months apart. Got arrested in Philly. So, but other times, like I've gotten away with stuff I should not have gotten away with. But I was nice to the cop. I did this and I did that, and I'm like, listen. Some days I was in a good mood and really had time for the cop, and other day, like this day, the cop ain't have time for me, and I had time for him. You know what I mean? And so I got my ass beat, and like the point is being one. If you hear the story, I've been fucked with like 6 times by the police. Why? Like I'm not doing anything, but the police keep messing with me. And the point is also that every interaction we have with the police ain't bad. It's the ones that are the issue.
Yeah.
So where it became an issue for me now, they got the 2 shootings in the last week, and everybody, they just took the dude in Colorado, and you see the coming out again. This person killed 8 people, taken alive, black person, selling CDs, dead.
Yeah.
And they do all those. I looked up the top 3 mass killings this year. The third one, the first one's Atlanta, the last one in Colorado, next one's Atlanta, and the other one, this nigga killed 5 children and another person in the family. Like, it wasn't like a mass shooting, like he went and shot up a place. But he went and shot up a house? No, I was the dude who killed 2 people. This dude killed 5 people.
Yeah.
And an adult, like 5 kids and an adult. He's taken alive. Black dude, he got locks, looked like a hard dude. They took him alive. It happens sometimes, and there's times where the white dude gets shot, and the point is that more often than not, the consequence is worse for us, but it is not we treat it like it's this hard and fast rule. If you encounter a black person, you kill him. If you encounter a white person, you take him alive, and it makes it so easy for the other side to go, well, here's an example of that not happening, and killing your whole argument. So it doesn't make us look as strong because we're arguing from an exaggeration.
Yeah, I understand that, and I hate when people do that in arguments as well. And that's no validity in that by generalizing a whole population of people. And people in the media, especially, picks and chooses what they decide to socialize. You know what I'm saying? So right now it's
I just gotta take my hoodie off. You keep going.
Right now, I believe that it's more or less like at the beginning of all presidencies in this last, since I've been alive, I feel like there's been mass shootings just because they want to take away, First Amendment rights and things like that, or they want to see. That's me getting caught up in the propaganda, but they want to do gun reform and everything like that. I'm not against gun reform or anything like that, but at the same time, it's just I feel like these people need to realize that there's more than right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gray areas. It's would you steal bread to feed your family? Yes, motherfucker.
Right, yeah.
Oh, but then you're a thief.
So, is my child eating?
I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the media just picks and chooses what they want to socialize depending on what time of day and what agenda they have at the moment. So it's
I also always disagree about the Second Amendment taking the guns away, because they ain't take guns away since 1994. gun sales go up every time there's a shooting, and every time they threaten to take away guns, gun sales go up.
It's they're on the same team, bro.
Yeah, so
it's
nothing says to me I'm like they're all trying to sell guns, like they're all arms dealers.
Exactly.
Barack Obama was running arms to Mexico, and whoever
Contra
knows where else,
and all
right?
of that shit. Like,
so I'm like, I don't assume that anyone's actually looking to do anything about guns to the extent that it's jobs in America,
because it would have been done by now.
Yeah,
if you think about it, if they want to get shit done, y'all are gonna get shit done.
Yeah, Sandy Hook. After Sandy Hook, they killed 20 white children.
Exactly.
And they didn't do anything. And I was like, oh, okay, well, nothing's going to happen about it. They have no plans to do anything about guns. They literally, a kid walked in and killed 20 kids and with an AR, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to do absolutely anything about this. And I was like, oh, well, then they ain't doing nothing. I don't even start talking about it no more. And then the other thing is, mass shootings are scary. They're also not the problem, which is to say, also, not whatchamacallit's not the problem either. One-on-one shootings, gang shit. That's not even it's an issue of guns. But there's 2/3 of the deaths in America from guns is suicide. That's a shit. That is so many people.
Wow.
2/3 of gun deaths every year from suicide. And then that's like, oh, well, let's talk about that then. Like, we keep throwing out there's 30, 40,000 gun deaths a year. It's like, okay, what are 2/3 of them are from suicides? Oh, okay, what are we doing about that? Oh, we're giving people more and more drugs than ever?
Exactly.
Okay, so what are we doing wrong? Like, there are societal issues that we can work past if we actually want to get to them, but we won't talk about the things we actually need to talk about to get there.
They don't want to talk. They want to talk about the harvest of the crop, but they don't want to talk about the soil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, what about the soil?
They're tossing the fruit and not being like, why do we keep getting fruit like this?
It's like, you got to work on the root of the issue. And not even just that, they blame it on, it's cold outside. Let's blame it on something else. Like, no, bro. Like, the root of the issue is that America is not a happy place. America is probably the most depressing place. And it's a facade. It's like being in a domestic relationship where you're getting abused and you're smiling on camera.
I called it a domestic relationship last week. Yeah, Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
the best way I can describe it.
It's literally just like that, because when people come over here, it's like, oh, it's the shit. But I mean, it may be the shit compared to what y'all have, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's kind of like the same shit, just in a different way.
It's like it's the shit compared to some places. A lot of times, because those places are trying to avoid our shit, it's all of Central America. The entire reason they're all coming up here and rushing the border is like it's a reaction to our interference in their policies and politics and various coups we did through the 80s and 90s.
Direct correlation.
And then they came back up here, and so they ran up here, and then we were like, oh, okay. They got into our prisons, they ganged up, and then we sent them back home, and then them gangs tooled up, and then they came back, and like it's like a whole thing that we've created in the first place anyway. So yeah, it's better than there now because we made it that way.
What did Malcolm X said? He said when they told him to be quiet for like.
When they censored him.
Yeah. What they said? He said the chickens
coming home to roost. Yeah, chickens coming home to roost.
It's just. If you study history, you know what's going to happen. This is not, you got to study different societies, different parts of history, because you got to realize a lot of people in America thinks that history starts with America.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't know that, like,
America's history is so short.
It's like this.
Yeah, it's nothing at all.
If you compare it to different civilizations,
like the Ming Dynasty and the Roman Empire,
even African ones, like you know what I'm saying? It's just.
I'll encourage everyone to watch this. It's called. It's like basically 17 minutes long. And it's the history of the world from like basically the Big Bang, which we can talk about in the second part and how you feel about that. But it's basically all the way from the Big Bang up until like maybe like the 2000s. in 17 minutes. So we'll go through just like Earth forming to organisms coming in, like real quick, and then just like every empire, African empires, how they went, their rulers, how they came up, how they went down, then go to Europe, all through Europe, Russia, Asia, comes back over to America, and it's like because it's so fast, you see like how quick dynasty rises and falls.
Yeah.
And it gives you like a quick idea, like, oh shit, like over thousands of years.
Yeah.
These dynasties have risen and fallen, and we've been around for what? 250? Oh, damn.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta know yourself.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to know yourself. They don't want you to know your history. They don't want you to know yourself. They don't want you to learn things that can open your eyes to just what life really supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Because like at the same time we sit back and I was a victim of it. Like even just growing up in my small town, I thought that was the world.
Right.
So then I compare that to just like everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When I went to college in Miami and then I came back to my small town. And then in my small town, it was just like, this is my town. I love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But wow, I literally thought this was the
world. The richest you feel for the town is just leaving it. Like,
I thought this was the world. Like, I thought like me going to not even leaving I thought me going to like a different town, like Burlington Township was just like
you on a trip.
Yeah, like oh, I'm on a mission.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
And that was us when even just like young and hop in a car, we take a road trip somewhere. We was going somewhere. And niggas be like, oh, y'all be everywhere.
Yeah,
I see y'all be down in Maryland.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas going everywhere.
Yeah, y'all
like,
niggas, yeah.
And then the perspective of, and not that this does everything, but like I remember the first time I went to Europe and you get there and you look at some building and you're like, that's what, 1,000 years old?
Right.
That's 1,000-year-old building right there. And like I'm from Philly, and I'm like, I thought we was done with our little 300-400-year-old buildings.
Yeah, Benjamin.
And we like, this the oldest building in the country.
This the oldest fucking bell.
Yeah, and they over there, they got all this like extra old stuff, and you come to California, and I'm like, you realize the history of California is like 100 years old if you go back to the formation and that. And like people think that's old, so they'd be like, oh, this building was built in 1914. And I'm like, that's new. That's new where I'm from. But if you go somewhere else, they're like, this from BC.
Nigga.
Jesus walked here. Jesus walked here.
Literally.
And like that is a perspective that you won't get until you start making moves.
You have to. That's the number one thing. That's why I like try to tell my family, come visit me. Mm-hmm. Like even just to come to California is just like, there's a lot of shit out here that's not out there. Like,
and it's just seeing, like, I used to teach. That was one of the things the kids, I was like, they just need to go somewhere and just see other things.
Exactly.
You don't know that, like, you can live in a big regular house unless, like, without being a rapper or a ball player, unless you see a neighborhood full of big regular houses. And you're like, well, what do all these people do?
Right. Exactly. And, like, I remember the first time, like, my boy Omar, right? Like I moved to Baltimore. He moved to like Marlton, which is like a rich neighborhood. But he didn't live in like a big house or nothing like that. Like they literally just moved out there so he can go to a better school and shit, right? But just like me coming back from Baltimore and like being able to see like, wow, this is real. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that allowed me.
It changes you.
Yeah, like that just showed me like, wow, like people aren't. I was at a cookout with him one time. I was like, wow, like we ain't about to fight nobody.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not. I don't feel
that tension.
Like, I don't feel like anything can go down.
And
like,
I didn't know I could even feel this way. Right.
Like I didn't. Like, exactly.
Like, it changes your level of when I was teaching, we'd ask kids like, what do you want to do? If you ask a fourth grader who ain't never left his block, what do you want to do? He's going to be like, oh, I want to do what my cousin do, or I want to do what Miss So-and-so across the street because she goes to work every day, and that's all I see. Or like, I want to live in this house because it's the biggest house on the street. But like, they can't dream past what they know. Yeah. Which is why they all want to be fucking YouTubers now.
Exactly.
All right. So I think we've talked about this before. So I want to start it off here. I talked a little bit about it with Asher.
Okay.
because you are hardcore anti-evolution.
I am.
You are. I ain't come from no monkey.
I'm definitely not a come from no monkey now.
But you did.
No, I did it. I did it.
Look,
I definitely did it.
You personally, do you think humans didn't, or
I think humans did not. Maybe. I don't think black people come from monkeys.
we people? We all people. We all people. We're all people.
We all have our own opinions. See, me, I believe that. I don't believe that I just came from a monkey because, like I said,
you didn't just come from a monkey.
You want to know why?
You came from your parents and grandparents, your great grandparents.
I know that. There's no monkeys that's turning into humans right now. Why did it stop? Nobody's answered my question yet. Why did humans stop turning into monkeys?
Because
why did monkeys stop turning into humans?
Because they weren't just like it's like just because.
When I want to know when and why did it stop?
Say just because you have like a German Shepherd, don't mean you still don't have wolves, right? Like dogs are descendant of wolves. We domesticated them from wolves, but you still got wolves. Okay. We got German Shepherds. We got little mini German Shepherds. We got pinchers. We got mini pinchers. Like there's.
That's the human nomenclature. That's the human nomenclature for them, though.
No,
that's what humans know. I'm never going to believe what a human tells me where I come from because it's like, bro, you have an opinion and you have an agenda. Not you per se, but the person that introduced that into the masses has an opinion and has an agenda.
I don't know that they do. They might just have not an opinion, but
fucking monkeys.
Yeah, look at them niggas, man. They got hands. They got opposable thumbs. They learn how to do sign language.
Are they the only humans, only animals that do that?
I think no, us. We do it too.
I know
us and monkeys,
bruh. So which monkeys?
I don't know.
There's different. There's like 100.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different species.
There's orangutans. There's apes. So which ones did we come from?
I've read about all this. There's not that many questions.
There's a lot.
You're just asking questions as though the answers don't exist. The answers are there. You haven't read. Like I had a time where I used to. Man, I had a time when I used to read all these books on various. What was the one I read? I forget. There's like The Blind Watchmaker, which goes into a lot of it. And there's another, not Dawkins. Anyway, yeah, Dawkins. A Dawkins book that he goes a lot into evolutionary biology.
Okay.
And it makes more sense than anything else. I think it gets real polluted in one. We as black people first have this.
I knew you were going to go there.
But we have the racist issue, right? And we hate that. We're like, nah, we ain't. And it's not the same. It ain't the same. But we are related. Like if no one ever told you, if you never saw, if you never heard,
correlated humans and monkeys until somebody told me that.
Really?
On God. I never looked at a monkey and said, that nigga could have been a human or could become a human. I looked at that monkey and said, nigga, that's a monkey.
Before I could talk, I was like, I was a baby. I saw a monkey. I was like, is that another kid? Them niggas look like us. What are you talking about? Like they're not like us, but like people. Like they do people shit.
So you're saying are you saying their aesthetics are like us? Are you saying their characteristics are like ours?
I'm saying they're genetically like us. I'm saying they're physically like us. I'm saying they're mentally like us. Our brains are more developed. We walk more upright. We don't have an opposing thumb on our foot. And we develop language skills.
So listen.
The biggest differences. That's it.
So
they experience emotion.
So every animal has those things that you said.
They don't have opposable thumbs. They don't all come
besides the thumb
on
thing.
2 feet.
Besides those things.
Yeah. I mean, but
And they're not even like straight up. They're like a little hunched over.
Yeah, they walk on their hand and stuff, but they're almost there.
They're not like
because they're not us.
full-time walking on their
They're not humans.
feet.
They're monkeys. They're
But this goes back to say this. There was many different humanistic humanoids in this world before ours were naturally selected through.
Hold on. Do you believe in those previous humanoids?
I believe that you
believe in natural selection.
Whoa.
So you on natural selection?
I just said that word just because to make you identify with you, but it's okay. So I believe that there was many different forms of human beings on this world, possibly, if anything. That's what I believe.
Right.
And then some of them died off.
Where'd they come from? I guess it's...
Where did they come from?
Yeah. Here's where we get to the...
They come from many different... See, that's the question. Where did they come from? Not monkeys.
But where do they come from? Where, like, ultimately, we got to get to the question, and it just comes to...
I believe that there's... Because you got to think about it. Human beings, we are way different than monkeys.
We're not way different. We're different.
We're way different than monkeys, bro.
Right.
Like, we have clothes, we have fashion, we have soul, we have dance, we have technology,
we're way more developed.
1,000 bazillion %.
We have a bigger brain.
And then why aren't they developing more shit? Why are they still in the monkey stages that they've been in since monkeys?
Because we keep them niggas in cages. Just we holding them down. Just playing.
There's no evolution amongst the monkeys as far as, now monkeys can do this shit now.
Humans are a special kind of...
But do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're trying to say.
Like, there's no evolution of thoughts within the monkeys.
All right, so
there's no new ways. There's no... They're only adjusting to what humans do in their domain.
I see what you're saying. Like,
there's no new shit that they're coming up with.
The extent that you think they're doing anything
revolutionary,
right? It's just mimicking us.
They're just mimicking themselves, and they're adjusting to their environment in which the humans have intruded on. And yeah.
Okay.
There's no new thoughts. There's no new monkey shit coming out. Monkeys are doing the same shit in 2021 that they was doing in 19 BC.
Ain't no new monkey shit. They ain't dropped no new.
Right? That's think about exactly right. Ain't no new monkey shit coming out.
Okay.
Like dead rappers, bro.
Yeah.
No, and even dead rappers got more shit coming out than monkeys. Nigga.
Like Tupac just dropped another album.
That's what I'm saying.
Tupac just dropped Machiavelli 37. He's been dead for 20 years.
Right.
So
and monkeys still climbing up trees, looking up bananas.
Throwing doodle at people.
Right.
Yeah. All right, but then...
And getting caught by shit. If they were anything like humans, nigga, they ain't getting caught that much.
There's like 3 million people in jail. Niggas getting caught.
I was gonna say for catching monkeys.
Yeah, no, just doing whatever. But all right, so if the story then doesn't go, we evolved from monkeys, who evolved from another organism, back to a single cell organism.
Yes.
If that's not it, if that's not how we got here,
yes,
then are we just creations by God put here in perfect form?
If you think about the human body in a natural form, in a natural world, without all of the human inventions and human creations, right? Mm-hmm. It's the perfect match. Wait, the earth is how much percent of water is how much percent of the earth?
80, 70, something like that.
Your body is how much percent of
water? But that's because we were developed on Earth. We adapted to Earth.
Listen, is monkeys Earth like that?
Yes.
So monkeys is the same thing?
Yeah.
Stop playing with me, bro.
Yes, they are. Listen,
we are composed. You got to understand the mineral domain. You got to understand the spiritual domain. You got to understand the plant domain. You got to understand.
I get all those, but we've developed within all of those domains.
And why haven't monkeys?
They have.
They have been the same. They've been doing the same shit since we discovered them.
Yeah, but you could argue that everything that we do is taking us further away from our spiritual center, and that animals are closer to it because we spend so much time putting all this distant space, thought, words, working, flows. I don't think a lot of the stuff that we consider like developments and advancements. I think we're too quick to label as an advancement. I don't know, like, yeah, the phone allows me to call somebody across the road,
with
right?
That.
But
I agree with that.
It doesn't mean that I'm more connected or more spiritual.
I agree,
and
100%.
Most times when we're talking about like returning to our most spiritual selves, we're talking about abandoning all of this stuff
100%.
and getting back into nature.
Yes.
So monkeys might have got it right. Monkeys are like, what are y'all doing all this new shit for? Just go sit. Climb a tree.
That's a great
There's
argument.
There's a banana up there.
That's a great argument.
It's got potassium.
That's a great argument.
Yeah.
That's a great argument. But listen, humans have impeded on their environment for how long? And it's we control them. So it's like basically they aren't doing no new shit, period, to adapt to anything, bro. So it's just like they're not moving on. We didn't come from them. They're not evolving to humans. There's no actual facts that say that we come from them. There's no, besides, we are kind of similar to them. You can say we are similar to them.
There's facts.
No, it's not facts. It's all theories. All theories.
All right, theories.
All theories, not facts. Let's get that straight. Theories and facts are not the same.
But all right, but a theory is essentially it's been tested over time for years and years and years.
But it's still not a fact.
Years and years and years and years and years.
It's not a fact,
and it holds up every time.
It's been tested, and it's always tested in the same fundamental Western thought pattern way,
which has all been tested. It's all been theorized. It's all been worked to the point of being reliable. And if one of those things breaks down, you break down with it.
Let me ask you a question. When was this theory introduced to the mass? Nobody probably knows this exact date, but like
Darwinism.
Okay, so before Darwinism, right? Charles Darwin, who went to the Galapagos Islands and studied turtles and fucking shit like that. Mm-hmm. Are there even monkeys out there?
Probably.
But listen. That's a question. But listen.
Jane Goodall did lots of studies with them.
Okay. And these guys are come on, bro.
You ain't even ever seen a monkey. So these niggas.
I never seen a monkey. I see monkey shit every day.
There's monkey business all over these streets.
No, but on God though, you gotta really understand that Charles Darwin is the same nigga that basically is the father of eugenics, which is the father of Nazi thought, which is the father of all of that. So it's like these people have agendas. These people are racist. These people want you to think. You got to understand, if there's show me an ancient, I want to see an ancient text or an ancient reference, not a Bible, because even though the Bible don't say it either. Yeah. I want to see an ancient text. Obviously the Bible don't say it, but I want to see an ancient text, an ancient non-religious text that says anything about.
We know more. I want to see an ancient religious text that says something about texts that say something about lung transplants or you know what I'm saying.
There's shit like
they was trying. They ain't know.
Imhotep, my dude.
Did he do a lung transplant? Or he did a heart transplant?
No.
Brain transplant?
Listen, Imhotep didn't cut people open. You're not supposed to cut people open. You're supposed to heal within. That's the first thing.
Okay.
The father of all this, the first multi-genius in the world, Imhotep, the first person that built a pyramid ever for Zolzer.
Okay, who's Zolzer?
It's as a pharaoh.
Okay.
But this guy was the first multi-genius. And you see like the ambulance symbol with the snake around the thing.
Yeah.
That's ancient shit, bro. Yeah. So that's why I say show me an ancient, because ancient shit is still to this day. Everything you see is basically derived from that shit. But I'm saying show me something that an ancient non-religious text of scholars back then, because niggas were scholars back then and studying shit that we still use to this day.
I'm sure.
Show me some shit.
I haven't looked it up, but I'm sure there's
nothing. Bro,
I'm sure there is some Sumerian text some
man.
old Egyptian text,
There's
and they're
none.
like,
none.
so Cleopatra, she got this pet monkey, and it looked like this dude James over here.
Just because some shit look like it. Like, come on.
Observation is one of our first tools in scientific discovery is observation. That's how we get to be like, them two things look kind of the same. Let's dive into this, and then you dive in. Like that's and like so. I don't trust stuff from 200 years ago that much to be like for technology and science. I'll trust it for like philosophical truths, but I don't know how I need it for my, what is this table made out of? And they'd be like, I don't know, it's a magical substance grown by God, and you be like, no, it's wood, my nigga, it's from a tree, and I put it in the ground. And
what I'm saying is because it's the foundation of everything. You know what I'm saying? There's people like Imhotep that was out there studying shit face to face, not no internet or not learning it from a fucking
I learned my science in school.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, he was the school. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I reference ancient shit, because it's like that shit is used to this day. Symbolism. Everything you see, the dollars you spend, the fucking everything you look at, all it's symbolism.
Yeah, and then
symbolic thought.
And then we're and like I'm with you. And like whenever like just for anything, I'm like, all right, let me go back and learn how we got to here, right? Like I spend my nights like if I can't sleep, I'm just watching like history stuff, science stuff, whatever. All right, and I just go through and I look at all that. I'm like always just trying to kind of get a better understanding of all that. But I always consider it to be a build on top. Like things new are supposed to be built on top of that, around it.
I agree, but it's
we
not
are
like
supposed to get further. You talking about monkeys ain't drop no new shit, but you saying you don't trust no new shit because of the old shit. Like,
no, I didn't say I don't trust no new shit. I said the new shit is a foundation of the old shit. Like, I mean, the foundation of the old shit helps you. We're saying the same thing. That's why I reference, show me some ancient shit that even had anything remotely saying that we was like, that we come from monkeys. We're similar to monkeys. Nigga, sharks is similar to whales, but they don't come from whales.
Well, one's mammals and one's a fish.
Okay, so
yeah.
So why don't we come from whales then?
We probably do. We can't. We all got the same general ancestry.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's like how we go. It's like how we could tell people like, yeah, we all came from Africa. Like that all like humans have a common ancestor at some point.
Yes.
Right. So we all have common ancestry going back to that first single-celled organism that climbed out the soup.
See, that's a whole nother thing, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, like that's like saying, bro, just because two animals are similar doesn't mean one has to come from the other one.
It doesn't, but we all came from somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is,
and then if we can't, like, if the answer goes, all right, we all came from somewhere.
Yes.
The best answer I can give to you is that we all come from this kind of tree of single-cell organisms going out the branches, and each thing kind of develops and refines into these things that we are today with some things left behind. But that's the best answer I can get to you as how we are here, right? Is we all started from the single-celled organism and
which
made our
is
way
called
here.
what?
I forget the name of that little guy. They have a name for him, but there's a name for the single-cell organism. He came through in the soup. And there were like proteins coming in from meteors, hitting it was oxidizing the water, and in that one of the proteins developed into a single cell organism, and then that thing grew, and then that.
So can that shit still happen today then? If it happened once, it can happen again.
Yes and no.
Why not?
Well, it would,
because everything in this thing that we are experiencing that they call life. It's a cycle.
I also disagree with that a little bit. It's a cycle, yeah. It's a cycle and it's not a cycle.
It's a gargantuous cycle It's a guard.
But all right, so like we're not gonna
3 billion years.
We're not gonna be like right. So it might be that, and it could be like a super long cycle like that, and like somewhere else, deeper in the universe or shallower in the universe, there could be a new planet forming that's going through the same thing as us, with all the rocks colliding into each other and water forming and all this other stuff. And
so
it's
you
not
believe
gonna
in
happen
space
here again.
So now but I think that's a real low key conversation because it's like, yo, bruh, I feel like this, bruh. I'm gonna be all the way against with you, bruh. Like, bruh, I don't believe shit that these crackers is telling me sometimes. Like, and I can't be faulted. That's why
you
bro,
can't be.
Like, sometimes, like even like QAnon and shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe in that shit. Like that's, and sometimes some of the shit I kind of believe.
20%,
like, you know what I'm
20%
saying?
on
That's
QAnon.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, come on, bro. Like,
No,
I can't. They don't believe in everything because they've been lied to so much and they've been victims of political and things. So it's like, that's not their fault that they believe in some outlandish shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's the system's fault. It's the government's fault.
No, yeah.
Like, they put faith in those people that they voted in and they failed them. Now they think they eating babies and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you can't be mad at them.
I agree
Besides
with you
the
there.
actions of them going and killing people and doing shit like that, if they do that. But that's what I'm saying.
I feel you.
Question everything.
And I be looking at the moon like being like,
yo, they made it. Yeah, bro. Like,
what's that really?
I be looking at that joint like, at first, when I was a kid, I used to say like, somebody said it was the reflection of the earth, so I used to think that like, oh, that's the sun reflecting, so that's the earth. And then somebody was like, nah, that's a whole nother thing. I was like, oh, that's a whole nother thing up there? Like,
yeah.
And niggas went there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Niggas went there, bro, and y'all went there in the first, like, bro, y'all went there in the, come on, bro. Y'all went to another thing outside of the place that you're acclimated to a whole nother.
They left the neighborhood.
Solar system. But listen,
They left the neighborhood. We supposed to leave
when
the
you
neighborhood.
when you go to Africa, how many shots do you got to get?
Like
a bazillion.
Yeah, a bazillion.
Imagine leaving the world. Them niggas, come on. I want to know the medical shit that they had to go through.
I'm sure a ton.
We got to figure that out.
While we out here on the moon, talking reckless and crazy.
Yeah.
My nigga Ye.
Easy.
Now we've talked about Ye before on here because you was on here before. I had your man's Asher on here last week, just slandering Easy, slandering.
In a sophisticated way.
In a sophisticated, in the Asher sophistication, morally he can't. But now we got Kanye, allegedly the richest black man in America.
That's a lie. That's cap.
Go on. Tear this black man down for me.
I'm not tearing him down.
Go ahead.
But facts are facts.
What are the facts?
Forbes came out and said that was cap.
So, you just went on, I don't believe these crackers about the moon. I don't believe these crackers when they tell me the moon exists. But when Forbes, a racist white institution, tells you how much a black man has, you take that as word.
I just feel like there's more black people doing more shit than just selling sneakers.
First of all, he sells sneakers. He sells sweatpants. He sells
selling clothes.
Shirts.
I don't believe
hoodies.
I don't see. You don't have no Yeezy.
You
shit
head
on
to
right
toe
now.
Adidas.
That's Adidas. No Yeezys. I don't own any Yeezys.
Still, okay. He also has a Gap deal, which is where they say a bunch of the money came from. He also has a record
as soon as he
label.
got that, as soon as he did that, I bought stocks in Gap.
Yeah, smart.
And it dropped a little bit. Nigga. I'm joking. It rose.
The line didn't even come out yet.
It plateaued.
So like, but I do wonder why are you going? And I agree, it's cap. I don't even think
exactly.
It's. I watched it. It was who did it?
Somebody from his team did
Business
that shit,
Insider or something. It was Business Insider or one of those like Financial Times things said, Kanye and Gap launched this deal. We talked to, the CEO. He talks about how he thinks this could be $1 billion venture. And then within an hour, all the rap sites like, Complex and Hip Hop XXL or whatever the fuck were all like, Kanye West just cashed in on a Billy. Kanye West just made, and I'm like, oh, y'all didn't read that article because the article says that they hope that this will be $1 billion venture. But they just ran one like Kanye cashed in on a Billy, and they did their own little evaluation and said, at this, and Kanye's at this. But Kanye went and he said...
It's like when Fox announced George Bush as the winner.
We do it the other way.
My bad.
But then I would go like, all right, so if he's not the richest black dude in America and we don't know how to calculate who the richest black person in America is, why are we even like, why aren't we being like, listen, that's a rich black man. What do we got to do to stay on his, like, how do we support you? How do we be on your team?
I mean, I agree with that, but also like, come on, man, like, why can't we as people? Why do black people all have to always agree? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't have to
that's
always.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nigga, you not the richest black nigga out here. Like, period. Like, I don't care, nigga. Like, you don't have more money than Hove, nigga. Like, I don't care, nigga. Like, I don't care. Like, he does not. Period. Like, I don't even pocket watch niggas, but it's just simple facts of like somebody can just like, come on, bruh. Like, he's not the richest black man in America. You got to sit back and think about all the black people names that we don't know.
It's like
there's people that Richard Lewis was the first black billionaire in America. I mean, Reginald Lewis was the first black billionaire in America.
Richard Lewis, that's a Jewish dude.
Yeah, my bad.
Enthusiasm.
Reginald Lewis was the first black billionaire in America. Niggas don't know his name like that.
Yeah, I say all the time.
Kanye, I love Ye. I love black niggas get money because I want to be that. But if you're not the richest black nigga in America, I'm not gonna let them say. That's like saying. That's like saying Ben Simmons is the best NBA player. That's cap. Yeah. Am I supposed to say, oh, I gotta agree with that because
I got stats being like, but look.
What is money? Stats.
Robert F. Smith. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Robert F. Smith is supposed to be the richest black dude in America.
We don't even know his name. He just sent his little homies to say, yo, clear that up.
Yep. No, Bloomberg reported, man. Bloomberg reported Kanye's at 6.6. And the other book, Kanye was saying before, Kanye never said he's the richest. Kanye said he was the second richest before.
So Kanye's the richest black man in America?
Yeah.
That's not how, though?
Why not? Why can't it be true?
I'm just saying because, like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like a hater.
There's 7 black billionaires in America.
And who's the richest?
Robert.
And this is a shame that we comparing black billionaires. Like,
no, I tell you all the time. If you combine all the black billionaires in the world, in America, we're the 21st richest white American. If you combine us all,
wow, that's what I'm saying. We don't need to even be doing this discussion.
But this is my point in it. That's where we are. We're like the 21st richest black person we combine, and then we get one who's like, yo, come on, y'all, I'm making a run. Let's go. Come on, we try to get there. And he's like, no, you not, nigga. Like, my point is, we shouldn't be arguing with each other about it. Yeah. We should just be getting behind each other and being like,
yo, cancel that whole statement I just said. Period. If niggas say he the richest black nigga, Kanye, you the richest black nigga. Nigga, I'm like he said, I'm in all Adidas, nigga.
Literally dripping
every single day.
He said, I don't know how we got there on just shoes. Adidas ain't selling that much.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, don't buy me, yo. I'm a little, you know what I mean?
Head to toe.
Yo, but it's at the same time though, like, when I fall victim to the mindset of colonization, like I just did, like you guys just witnessed, I quickly step out of it and understand what I just did. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we all fall victim to that. Like, Kanye, if you the richest black nigga, salute. I don't even care who the richest black nigga. Get money.
It don't matter, right? Like
Get money.
If he going, I'm the richest, we're like, nah, this other dude got 0.4 more. No, but no, this other dude got it. And I'm like, yo, this is great. We got this many people up here, and let's just keep on. Like Hov said, was better than one black billionaire too. Like that's what.
And you know why I feel like also too, because there's a stigma behind Kanye, and I feel like there's a stigma behind Kanye, and I feel like I just fell victim to just when I saw Kanye, I just saw the antics. So I'm like, oh man, this nigga can't be the first black billionaire. Like, I mean, not the first black billionaire, the richest nigga. Like, oh man,
now
this, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just me,
right,
being victim of,
like you said earlier, like, you know, the media is going to show you what they want to show you to make you upset, make you not want to make you upset. So if I'm the media and I see this powerful black man who's willing to say whatever he wants to say, that we can't control, that's going to do whatever he wants to do, who keeps telling people when niggas tell him no, he keep going, and he starts to get all this money. Right. What am I going to do if I'm the system? Am I going to discredit him? I'm going to call him crazy. I'm going to say he's lying about how much money he's got. I'm going to take away from what he's doing.
Right. That's a fact.
That's what I watched him do to Kanye. Like, every time Kanye speaks out more the narrative about him being crazy is hyped to me. And I get white people falling for it. Because they falling for it every time they've done it to us. They you know what I mean? Like,
yo, you're. I never really had even like an opinion on Kanye. Like, wait, let me remind that. I never thought that I had an opinion on Kanye until now, until I realized, like, wow, I just subconsciously let these crackers make me feel some type of way about Kanye when he literally did nothing wrong.
He hasn't done.
Like,
he ain't done nothing.
Like, you know
wrong.
what I'm saying? Like, what has he done wrong? Like, okay, he talked to Donald Trump. Like we was talking about earlier, you gotta sit down.
Right, which is, you gotta
like,
sit
you know
down.
what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy. It's not, it's the machine behind the hatred.
It's real.
It's so powerful.
And we fall for it.
It's not even that we fall for it, bro. It's like, we're just in it. Like,
but it's like Ice Cube. Ice Cube, he like came up with his like Black Coalition or whatever when the election was happening.
The Platinum Plan.
The Platinum Plan. And he came with the Platinum Plan, and he said, I called up Joe Biden's team, and I called up Trump's team. Joe Biden didn't respond to me. Trump's team said they'll take a meeting, so we're going to take this meeting.
That's a fact.
And the media was just like, not the media, like Black Twitter was like, he canceled, sell out, coon, how much you do? And he's like, yo, to be clear, I'm not working with Donald Trump. We took a meeting. We asked for a meeting with everyone. They took the meeting. Joe Biden said they didn't take the meeting. We're just going to take the meeting. We're going to talk. They was like, sell out.
Let's talk about that, though. Let's talk about Black Twitter.
Okay.
And how powerful Black Twitter is. And let's talk about what's behind Black Twitter.
Yeah.
Nigga, we don't know who's behind them profiles. Anybody can make a profile. You know how much money that these propagandist people have behind them that they can just shift any thought at any moment? They find ways to do that. That's what they do. Like if I had all this money and I had an agenda, and I'm a smart dude, like, you know what I'm saying? I would, if I wanted, say, like, all white people to, like, hate fucking somebody, I would, all you have to do is create 1,000 or more fake profiles of a thought, kick that out, and other people are gonna gravitate towards it, and then it just seems like it's real.
It's as soon as, when they said, like, oh, this is what Russia's doing, I was like, oh, well, then why what do you think other people are doing this? You think just Russia's doing that? You don't think companies are doing that? You don't think our government's doing that? Like, obviously, if Russia's doing it, if they can conceive it, anyone else can conceive it. And the amount of times I've been on the internet, and like, I almost get myself in the traps, and I always not check my one friend on this, but be like, yo, chill out. Someone will like say something under a comment of mine, and I see, like, you know, it's like wild reckless. I'm like, who is this person? And I look at their profile. The profile was created 3 months ago. It's only got posts on this specific topic, even because the algorithm's just meant to pick these out and pick fights and do this, right? And it's so like, my one friend will get upset she's like a comic and a like a OnlyFans model and stuff, right? And like people say like rude stuff.
OnlyFans model. Well, go ahead.
She's banking.
Get that money, girl.
She getting money.
I love it.
And like people like talk trash and she'll like repost like, can you believe someone said this? And I'll go look at the profile and I'm like, shawty, that's not a real person. That is a bot. That's a bot you're interacting with. Like that's a bot that's like just sent out to
like
trigger you.
Even like you know I rap, so it's like sometimes when I try to promote my thing, like you use some of these different like Instagram pages to get your shit out there, like Instagram pages to get your shit out there a little bit, and you go on some of them and you see their fucking like the people that's commenting and things on there. I literally on one site went through every different page like and saw like, yo, this person has every person has 5 pictures. And every person's a fake artist that's not a real artist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
This world is
it's crazy. The scams are
it's like
real.
a facade. So like I look into like, you know, and especially with Kanye, that's why the reason I watch every Kanye interview ever is because I just like the context. Every time like they say Kanye said this, I go and watch the whole thing. And every time I'm like, they didn't represent, that's not what he said.
Yeah.
And the media is super good at that with everything. Like even like Papa John, racist Papa John, they had the media story and the story that the headline that they put out, like Papa John says he spent the last 20 months trying to get the N-word out of his vocabulary. Right?
Yeah.
And that was it. And that's what Black Twitter and everyone lost their minds over. Like, it took you 20 months to do that. You took it 20 months to do this. But like, I read that and I like, to me, it read as,
you can know he actually said it though.
no, he did say it. But the context that they put it in is
like
I'm working on myself.
Like I'm addicted to saying nigger.
And that I'm trying not to say it. Like I recognize that I'm not supposed to be saying this. Like the way they put it is still like accountability. It's him going, I am trying to get this out of my mouth. But if you watch the full interview, it's him being like, it's ridiculous that they were able to do this to us and we're just gonna fight back in this unfairness. And we've just spent the last 20 months trying to just get this out of our vocabulary, which he like does say. But the point of he's making during the thing is like, I did nothing wrong. We're trying to fix this in this PR way, but I ain't do nothing wrong. He ain't taking no accountability for it. And I'm like, the way they spun it, instead of like writing a thoughtful thing that says like, what he actually said, they do this clickbait, which no one watches the whole thing.
Never.
Takes this out of context, and then you run with it. And like now, 10 years from now, like people be like, have you gotten it out of your dialogue yet? Like, instead of being like, have you learned anything yet? Which is what I'm more concerned with. And so like, Kanye, I watch all his interviews because I'm making sure that they're not going to slander him to me. I watched them kill Michael Jackson and Prince on me. Like I ain't gonna,
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying at the same time. Like the media, bruh. Like when people the media, bruh. Because like people just want you to. They have an agenda, bruh. Like people are putting money behind that. Somebody owns Fox. Somebody owns CNN. People own these things. This is a for-profit country, so it's like everything that you see is for money. Like everything you see, anything you see is for money.
The first time I saw them attack Kanye's, all right, when Kanye went on his I'm going to get my master's back and I'm going to get everybody's master's back rant, right? Which is an important rant to be on.
Yeah.
And I think Kanye being in the position that he's in, financially, sales, all that, he should be in the best position to go, yo, we all going to get our masters back, and every artist jump in and say something. But because of the way we framed Kanye, artists are like scared to even jump behind him in that way. So now like where he's out here fighting for other artists stuff and they should all be like, yeah. They'd be like, nah, well, yeah, crazy. Yeah, this, yeah, that. So like now like you got the person in the best position to do this for you. But because of how he's been framed, you think of him this way. And then the day he did that, the next day.
But we can't act like some of that shit ain't warranted though. Like Kanye was out there spazzing a little bit. He was out there on stage ranting, talking about Hov. Like, first and foremost, I'm a Hov fanatic. So it's like,
right.
I'm still not even over the Hov and Nas beef to a point. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
First of all, Ho, have you called Kanye yet? Have you called him and apologized? His wife was robbed. His wife was robbed. Did you call him? Did Beyonce call?
For what?
She don't gotta call nobody. But Hov, call this nigga, check on him.
Hov.
Call him. Call him.
Nah.
Call him.
I feel you, Ho. Sometimes you gotta love niggas from afar, bro. Especially when you're going through your own shit. So it's just like niggas just expect. That's another topic too. Like people expect black men to be numb in America. Like, you understand? Like, why just Kanye? Oh, me and my wife got robbed and shit. Nigga, your security should have been up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going through this shit with my girl over my wife too, nigga. Like, you think just because I'm me that I have to come over and help you out? Or,
man, but just
bro, I'm
call
going.
your nigga up, man.
Nah, nigga, Kanye. And then another thing, nigga, you gonna go on stage and. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit you don't do. Kanye wild out a couple times, bro. We can't act like the media just.
But hold on, he went into an institution after that. Like, he told you what was happening during that time.
So he wild out.
He wild out. But that don't mean that you can't recognize that he's been one of the greatest producers in rap music.
Oh, 100%.
Generally,
I love Kanye.
Right.
I literally love everything Kanye does. Like, I'm not a Kanye hater.
Right. So like now but my point to that is when he went on the I Want My Masters Back, I saw the news the first story they recycled was Kanye makes everyone be celibate on his team, right? Which was
That's probably false.
It was an old story from working on Sunday service when they were doing the Sunday service thing. He was like, "Hey, let's all." They're all super Christian. And I think he did ask him to be celibate. But the story was like a year old. And they dragged out this old story just because they're like, yo, throw whatever against him. They start questioning the valuation of his money, all this other stuff. As soon as he started asking for masters. And that was like a real big deal when he started doing that. They shut everyone down. They sent around like, I thought some people at the label, they shut down. They're like, no one's allowed to talk to Kanye. Nobody can talk to Kanye. He's only allowed to talk to the lawyers. He's on some other shit. Because that, like, messing with the masters, that is like, on some breaking the record label type stuff. If people start really trying to claim their masters, take control of it, and that labels are so shook right now, especially where we at with media and how artists are better able to control their art and distribution of stuff, they're starting more and more to not see the appeal of going to a major label. Like, yeah, it's going to take you real big, and you'll be everywhere, but you're not going to own your stuff. You're going to be fighting them for years. They got you in these contracts, and people are losing the appeal. So, like, the industry shook. They are in a place where they are going to have to bargain, and they'll shut anyone down at anyone. Like, we know the power that people will put behind things to.
Like Big Pharma.
Right. Or like, I just watched the Billie Holiday movie, and Billie Holiday, they destroyed that woman's life trying to make sure she don't sing Strange Fruit on stage, right? Which Kanye sampled. Yeah. So they spent her till she died making sure she don't say that on stage. And so when Kanye go up and he's singing shit like New Slaves,
I love that song.
And he out here
I made a song called
New Slaves
just because of that.
Top notch. Yeah. And they got him out there talking about, getting his masters back. I'm making my own money. We got to go buy our own land. We got to go do this. And then they start making him sound, he do be sounding crazy sometimes. But when they start being like, nah, he crazy, and they get this real dismissive thing, I'm like, we can't be.
Yeah, we can't dismiss Kanye. And I fell victim to that just when he just talked about the money shit, because I just, like I said, the reason why I say niggas don't be reading the shit or watching the shit is because sometimes I'm one of them niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're all, like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I know. And it's just like, at the same time, though, Kanye did wild out, bruh. Kanye wild out a lot of the times, bruh.
Niggas at the same time, to wild out.
But I understand everything that you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you, bro. Like, Kanye is, they probably made Jesus look crazy before they crucified him. Right. Like, if he was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like they do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I understand that, and I feel like this. Kanye just has to be smarter because he knows what they do. So it's just like, bro, like, there's certain niggas that I know that my number one law of the world is this. Play the game, but know the truth. Yeah. That's the only way you can, like, free the slaves. Like, think about it if Harriet Tubman was a raw ass slave. Think about it if You have to have a form of stealth. The spook by the door. You gotta be. Bro, because we're in their system, bro.
If you're trying to tiptoe by the door and like you could be like, and I love
you
Hope
rush
too.
the door. You rush
be-
the door. You bum rush the. You got the ops, bro. At the end of the day, it's a war, right? It's a psychological warfare against the oppressors, and we all, the real ones, know that. Kanye knows that, and he's trying to get the message out. And I understand him, and I understand the shit that he be saying every time he says it. And it's good, but he needs to understand this. That is going to be taken out of context. And if you want people to follow you, the people that already know what you're talking about, we already know, me and you and niggas like us, we know what he's talking about and we agree with his sentiment. We understand what he's talking about. So we're gonna follow him and agree with him. He needs to, he's supposed to be focused on the niggas that don't know what's going on. And to reach them, you gotta understand that the medium between you and them is these crackers. And the way that you got to get through them is low key. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about if you're the powerful one. If I'm them, right? And I got the power and I don't want nobody to take the power from me. Here I go, a nigga that's opposite of me. Okay, he gonna make me money, but if I could fuck the money, he's gonna make me lose the power. We're gonna make him look crazy. We're gonna shun him and all of that shit and get him out of there. So he needs to. You gotta apply the 5% Nation of Islam rule to everything, bro. 85% is lost God
Here's
followers.
What I have to say to you: Kanye West, his whole career, through everything,
Easy, I love you.
It has been people telling him, yo, that's not the way to do it. We got to go around this way. No, we can make the label this way, or you can get on this way, or we can get on this way. And every time, and there are times where they make him look crazy. He's like, nah, that's not how I'm gonna do it. Nah, that's not. I'm gonna go right through the front. Nah, we're gonna go over to Adidas. We're gonna get this deal. No, we're gonna go over here. But he's done all of it.
But that's different.
He keep going,
because you're creating monetary value for them.
But he's saying to you now, listen, I told you everything that I've talked about during my career. I'm gonna bust through this shit.
They're good. No,
so we gotta be behind them.
No.
Why are we saying
we gotta be behind them 100%.
Right.
But what I'm trying to tell you is you can't. The Godfather. Look. Godfather, right? You got Michael Corleone. You got Fredo. And you got Santino, right? Fredo's a snitch. Right? He's not busting through the walls. He's not making the shit legal. Santino's a hothead. He's getting killed at the toll booth for trying to save his sister. Don Corleone, Michael Corleone, the low-key OG. That's the nigga that gets shit done. It's always the low-key niggas that get shit done. Because you have to be low-key if you're going against their system.
They get it done for them. Like Hove is low key. Hove's low key.
He's getting it done.
And Hove is like, I'm in the door. Hey y'all, if y'all sneak past the door, you can get in the door too.
Nah.
And Ye's like, nah, nigga, look, there's an entrance right here. Everybody come through. If we all rush it right now, we gonna get through. Come on, let's go, niggas.
And the niggas who could close the door can close the door at any time. Them niggas got the power, bro.
It's power, but part of the power is a perceived power. It's convincing us that the power. Right. It's convincing us that they do have the power.
As soon as I said, I was like, wait, no, we got the power.
So he's going, nah, we have the bargaining power. We're the artists. We're the creators. We have this. We can do it. All of us get together. Let's do it. I'm telling you, I've done it.
I
don't even need this right now. I'm telling you, I'm a billionaire. I don't need to do this for me.
So why did he need to sign with Adidas?
I mean,
why do he need to sign with Gap?
Oh, because he can get the
infrastructure.
Right.
But you got to apply that to life. But in the infrastructure of how the consorts of life and how we live is in an infrastructure. It's all institution. Everything is an institution that we're within, and there's a warden of every institution. So when you're an inmate, right, coming in, we're just inmates in this institution of America. When we're inmates of this institution and we're trying to break free or overthrow it, we can't just be like to the fucking CEOs and shit that's not down. Yo, we taking over this shit at this time. Fuck y'all. Or but slaves had to go and plan their escape and plan their shit low key. You got to do it low key.
If there's
at the
a
end of
bull
the day,
sitting there going, yo, I know the CEO's convinced us that they got this place on lock, but I'm looking around and
no, that's not what Kanye's doing. Kanye's doing this. He's standing up in the motherfucking middle of the lunch on the table and saying, niggas, we can break out of this shit. There's a fucking vent that we can all fit in and get the fuck out. While the CEOs is all looking.
And we going, I see the vent.
And then they can close the vent at any given time.
I see the vent. I see Kanye. He talking to us from inside the vent.
And he's
from inside the vent, but I'm scared to go because the CEO said gonna kill me.
They're gonna close the vent.
And then we come back to slavery was a choice.
Slavery was
because you sitting there looking at the vent. You sitting there looking at that open vent.
That's a deep thought. That's a deep thought. That's a deep thought. Slavery was a choice. Slavery was not a choice to remain in slavery.
No, it was
That's
not.
the choice.
It's fair enough.
That's what he should have said.
He's saying
slavery was not a choice. I mean, it is a choice in the sense of living or dying.
Yeah. But the point being
that's
is,
a choice.
We have to accept what part of the game is us believing that we need to rely on certain things to get places, and Kanye trying to tell us we don't. But we actually at the time.
Oh dang! I was about to talk about.
We gonna.
Oh man! I was about to go talk. Yo,
we gonna do it. Next time.
Next time.
Tell the people where they can find you at.
You can find me at the Holy Kush on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music. I just dropped in a scene called Melanin. I'm about to drop a project called Stripes. I'm probably the best rapper you ever heard, so you need to hear me.
You heard it here first.
And that's a bet.
You heard it here first. Best rapper you ever heard, Holy Kush. I've been Aston Wallace. You can find me at Fast Ramon on everything. You can find the podcast at FPRK Radio. Follow me on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Follow Aston Wallace on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Share it with your friends.
Share.
And go listen to Kanye. All right, peace.
Yeah.